European missions in Ghana. I'm Miss Charity, and it's always a joy coming your way with this. Today, we'll take a drive through the life of an honorable, a prominent man who is serving his cause in the European Union. He happens to be the Deputy Head of Missions in the European Union. He's the Deputy Ambassador to Ghana. Oh, I'm so glad to have with me here Mr. Peter-Smidt van Gelder. Hello, sir.
Thank you, Charity.
Thanks
for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you again. So glad.
And thanks for pronouncing my name correctly as well.
Correctly. It should be P-I-E-T-E-R.
Yeah, but it's just pronounced the English way, Peter.
Pieta.
Yeah, Peter.
Pieta.
No, just Peter. But no, thanks for coming over to the European Union. It's great to have you here.
Oh, I'm lost for words, but let's do this. Okay, I have with me here 10 random questions.
I hope I can answer them.
I hope so too. So you make a pick.
Yes.
And then which one you pick, you give to me.
Okay.
And I'll ask you or read whatever
I think this one will be nice.
This one. Okay, that was quick. Okay, so we have here, what was the hardest professional decision you ever had to make?
Oh, okay, that's a nice one. I think it was when I was 27. I worked as an assistant prosecutor in Amsterdam, where I was born. So I helped the prosecutor for criminal cases, but I didn't really like the job. I had studied law and languages.
Okay.
My wife had just come from Colombia, we met there. So we were living for a couple of years in Amsterdam, and I didn't really like it. And then came along the possibility to work for the United Nations, UNICEF, in Chad, here in Africa. I had never been to Africa before. Chad is a French-speaking country. It's very poor, very underdeveloped. I've never set foot in it. I had to look it up in the map before I had my job interview.
Wow.
But then they offered me the job, and obviously my wife, who had just come from Colombia, who had just settled in Amsterdam, was a bit like, yeah, she could really do it. But in the end, she supported me. I'm still grateful for that to this day. And it was very good because I said it to a colleague who was leaving our organization the other day, also a young man. Then I was a young man, I said, you have to pursue your dreams. If you're somewhere and you're not happy, and you have other possibilities, you should just go.
Exactly. So does that mean you wanted to be a lawyer after studying law, or?
You see, I did not really know it really well back then. So I studied law indeed, and it's obvious to become either a lawyer or a judge. My paternal uncle was a judge, so I knew a bit about this environment, and he had been a lawyer as well, by the way. But yeah, so I worked in it for a couple of years, and then I realized this was not, let's say, dynamic enough for me. I like more of it, adventure and change, and not, this was too much of an office job for me.
Okay, so today you are here, and then you are the Deputy Head of Missions to the European Union, and is it what you wanted to be? Is it in line with? Yeah,
it is. So after I was in Chad, I entered a diplomatic career with my own country, the Netherlands, and this is difficult to enter. I tried for 3 times, so perseverance is important as well.
Perseverance.
Don't take no for an answer, just try again. And then, yeah, if you're in that career, obviously one of your goals can be to be Deputy Ambassador, and also to work for the European Union is I'm not just saying it like that, it's really a privilege for me because I really believe in the European ideals of solidarity, working together, working for peace, and working for our values.
Yeah. That settles it. Do you have our next pick?
Okay, let's see.
Wow.
Not too difficult, I know.
Okay. Oh, which one? Oh, okay. Growing up, who inspired you the most, and what was that which inspired you?
Let's see, if I may, Charity, I mentioned 2 people.
Okay.
So I guess one of it is my mother, because she's a professional woman. She did her PhD when I was born, so we are four, I'm the oldest of four.
Oh, wow.
So it was me and my brother. Then she stopped having kids, so to speak, temporarily, and did the PhD, finished it, even in cum laude, and then had two more kids, my two little sisters. I think what I like reading books as well, and I like writing, so that part I really have from her.
Okay.
And the other one is another person altogether. It's from football. When I was growing up in high school, there was a coach in the team I supported, Ajax Amsterdam. It's called Louis van Gaal. And I liked him a lot because he said from himself, I am strict, I am fair, and I am disciplined. And I think those things are very important in a leader. So this is what I guess learned from him, because he was, I see him nodding, also very successful in his career, because his team then, with limited resources, won a lot of prizes.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, let's just have our next break before any follow-ups.
Oh.
Okay, I'll still read out to you. Okay. In your opinion, the word success is very objective. Somebody also say it's relative, but whichever way, in your opinion, what are 5 topmost key secrets for success in life? That is in your opinion.
Okay, good. If you mention 5, at some point you get lost, but let's just start. Okay. I guess you have to know what you want, because you cannot pursue all kinds of different careers at the same time.
Okay, that's a defined vision.
Yeah, define what you want.
Okay.
Because, for instance, I like writing, as I said. At some point I thought maybe I should be a journalist, but you cannot be journalist and diplomat at the same time. So maybe when I'm past 60, but do one thing and try to do one thing good.
Okay.
Then perseverance, as I said already. For instance, for me, it was not extremely difficult, but it was also not a given to enter the diplomatic career. You have to do assessments, they test the language, English, French, other languages. And I could have said after the first time they turned me down, okay,
that's it,
I do something else, but I didn't. Then I think you have to be disciplined as well.
Discipline.
I think you have to have a schedule in a day, get up at a certain point and try to maintain that. So I think to be successful, disciplined as opposed to being chaotic. Then I think generally you should have somehow an optimistic outlook in life. I think people who are successful, not only they know what they want out of life, but sometimes you take a risk, like what I said before. I did it before going to Czech. It went well in the end, even though I was also evacuated twice, but I had an optimistic outlook, like, okay, this is an adventure and I can do this together with my family, right?
One more.
And the last one is, I think in this line of work you generally have to like to work with people, and this sounds maybe a bit cliche because there hardly works without people.
So be a team player?
A team player, and you have to like to be surrounded by people.
Okay.
If you are in diplomacy or in leadership roles, if you really prefer to be on your own in the intellectual field, then I guess you should pursue a career in university or something.
Okay, so this is what applies to you, the 5 you just mentioned. Let me see if I can recall them now. Optimistic, I'll start with that. You should have a defined vision or goal. Perseverance, disciplined, and then you should be ready to work with people and have people around you, right? Yeah, so that's just 5 keys to be successful in life according to Mr.Smidt. We will have our next pick. Oh, we've already had 3 picks, so we have 2 more to go.
2 more, okay.
It's too early. That's you. Anyway, we have our next pick.
Let's see. This big one is probably
It's difficult.
Okay, let's see how it goes. Oh, okay. If you could start all over again as a young man, what would you do differently?
Oh, that's a very good one, and I've not really thought of it in those terms. I think what I do differently is I would not start with what I first said, the prosecutor's office.
Okay.
I needed a job also because even back then, but it's the same now, if you marry somebody from abroad, from out of Europe, you needed a job, so I just needed a job and I was finished as well. But I think I would really immediately think, okay, when I went to Colombia as a very young man, I was 22 at the time, I didn't speak Spanish, I learned it there. What do I really like? I like this work where you are abroad, interact with a lot of people, so I should have immediately done that as opposed to first going to the prosecutor's office. So that's one step. But in terms of what I studied or the bigger choices I made, I wouldn't really say I regret anything. No. And I think that's also not a very good or useful way of seeing your life, because as I say, I think it's important sometimes just to sort of take a risk. So I worked for the United Nations, then for my own government in the diplomatic career, and now for the European Union. So I was also, let's say, not afraid to change. Also employers and countries. I worked in Africa and also in Latin America and in Europe. So I think you have to have some kind of sense of adventure. And then if you do these things, sometimes after you say, well, this was maybe not completely successful, but then from there to say, oh, I really regret it, no, I wouldn't say that, because I also like to sort of a bit sometimes go with the flow.
Yes. So sometimes you just have to do some things, not because you like to do them or because it's what you anticipated, but because you just want to learn.
Exactly.
Because you just want to have a tour in life. You want to go on an adventure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's what I would say to young people, Charity. Like, you cannot really plan everything. Sometimes just take an opportunity, grasp it, and then see where it gets you. And then if you don't like it anymore and you have other opportunities,
you go for it. Exactly. I'm already enjoying this. Mr. Peter has a lot to share with us, but you will just take our last break. If he doesn't take my favorite question, I'll ask you. Okay.
I'm wondering what that would be, Charity.
Yes. I already mentioned it, but let's see.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that one.
Yes, that one. Oh, no, I don't like this. I think you should pick a different one.
Okay, but you can just ask your favorite one then.
Okay, so if you were to be me now, what would you be doing?
Okay, I won't disclose your age, but I take it you are a bit younger than me.
Yes, I'm 23.
Yeah, early 20s, so yes, I was at that age as well. At that age, actually, I went to Colombia, so that was my first, bigger adventure. I would say identify what for you are the most important issues in your life and in your country and in the world. One of the things I hope young people will work on is the environment and fight against climate change. For the European Union, it's very important. We have a very important package of measures where we also want to help other countries like Ghana. But I think this is really one of the defining themes of our age, to stop the global warming, because if you see in the news every day, flooding, heat, problems with the environment. So I think that it is a potential cause to be involved in, but again, as I said earlier, it should also be from your own heart.
Yes.
If you say, my cause is human rights, or my cause is youth participation, you should go for that. So follow your heart and your mind at the same time, because I think it's important to
have the two
connected.
Exactly. So you follow your heart and then you follow your mind simultaneously. That's the way, at the same time. Okay. So how long have you been in Ghana?
For 2 years now.
2 years?
Yes.
How many years do you have here?
Also 2 years.
2? Oh, that's such a long time. Like, we are going to stay here with Mr. Peter for 2 good years, and I believe when he goes, he'll be coming back. So would you like to share your experience in Ghana with us? What has been the experience in Ghana? What experience would you take with you when you are living here?
Generally a very positive experience. So this is my 3rd time in Africa. I was in Chad and then later in Sudan. So after Ghana it will be 10 years in Africa. I find Ghanaians to be, I'm not saying it's just to say something, but very nice and good to work with. It's also a very safe country, which is very nice. I'm here with my family, so I have young kids, so it's good to have, as opposed to maybe, for instance, Chad, a safe environment for them to grow up. Obviously, since I arrived, this was summer of 19, then after 6 months we had the whole COVID pandemic.
Yes.
So yeah, this tainted a bit the whole experience, but this is nothing to do with Ghana, of course, it's anywhere.
Yes.
And I also said, you know, to my family and friends, in a way it was better to be here because, you know, we had very severe lockdowns back in Europe. And
Yes.
here, of course, you have to adhere to the protocols and everything, but at some point, you know, life also went on.
So yeah. Okay, so before we go, you still have to make a last pick because I didn't ask him the other one. Do you remember? Yes, I didn't. So Mr. Peter will make his last pick.
Oh yeah, I like the one where they ask what kind of things you don't like anymore.
Wow, you really wanted to say that. Okay, I think this is great. What is the biggest factor that has helped you come this far in your career?
That's a very good one, but not so easy to answer. I would say it would be a combination of the things I said, so it's the values you have and the things you think are important in life, like being optimistic and to have the perseverance and to be disciplined. But truth be told, it's also luck, so you cannot always say, okay, I earned this, so I always work. So yes, I work hard, but other people also work hard. And, I've also been lucky in life, right? So, for instance, I landed this job. I had a job interview back at the headquarters. I think I did well, but I didn't know how it really went, and then and I received it. So you have to believe in yourself. That's very important. You have to, of course, I've also had some setbacks or sometimes things. Just prior to this job, I wanted something when I was back in headquarters in The Hague. I didn't get it. I got frustrated. But this is part of your professional life. You cannot always have awards or always have immediately return on what you want. So then you continue and be patient and wait for the next opportunity to have something else. But I wouldn't, you know, sometimes people are quote unquote successful, not always, or would sometimes have the tendency to say, oh yeah, it's always because I did this and that. And yes, that's part of it, but other part is also luck.
Okay, so that's what Mr. Peter has to say. Before we go, what do you say to my audience listening to you, especially the youth out there? What do you have to say to them, your last words? Let's just say your last words. What do you want them to take away home?
Well, to the young people in Ghana and the professionals, I wish you all the best in your careers. I wish for you to have a very good professional life. Believe in yourself, don't doubt yourself. There will be setbacks, there will be luck, and with a good amount of optimism and perseverance, you'll get there. I'm sure of it. Thank you.
You will get there. Believe in yourself, do not doubt yourself, and gradually you'll get there. So we have Mr. Peter. Thank you so much for doing this with us. We appreciate you so much, and then we wish you all the best in your career as well. And we hope you continually enjoy your stay in Ghana. Okay, so to you out there, I hope Mr. Peter has actually shared. This was a drive through his life, and I'm sure it's brief, but it's detailed, and we've learned something. So yeah, let's keep believing in ourselves and not doubting. Little by little, bit by bit, a step at a time, we will also get there. And as for me, I'm aiming at being in the position of Mr. Peter, and then also be more than that when I get there. So for now, it's a bye. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right.